So we are live, guys. So hello, everybody, and welcome back to the stream. Today, I'm joined with Ella. Good morning, Sunday morning. It's actually no, it's Monday afternoon. But here we are. So yeah, once again, as when we were in a Zoom call, I was complimenting Ella on a getup. I was saying it had the essence of Wednesday Addams, I think. So it's
Just
pretty cool.
feeling autumnal, ready for Halloween already.
Autumnal, I like that. That's really cool. Gary's in the chat there, so I was just about to write it, but I might as well just say it. So hello, Gary, mate. How you doing, bud? Almost wrote it while I do that. Sometimes I'll reply to people in the chat, and they'll be thinking like, I don't need to do that. I can literally just say like hello, because I'm like talking. So cool.
Yeah.
So how's tricks anyway? Ella, did you have a good weekend? Obviously, I know like with all the current stuff, it's quite difficult to we've got like new restrictions and whatnot, right?
Yeah, it was okay. Just trying to go for more walks and stuff, and yeah, so.
But yeah, that's fair enough. I know. Yeah, fortunately, obviously, I think that you've got like some kind of trails and stuff. We were talking last time, but no, I remember you saying you got a bike, right? Is that right? So you got a bike now? So
Yeah, I was trying to get a bike for like the whole of lockdown because
yeah.
Everybody went crazy for bikes naturally, and I was like I could also go crazy for bikes, and tried to get one for ages and ages, and I thought I don't want to just get one that like I'm not going to look after or whatever. I want to actually get one and think I'm going to keep using this kind of thing. Went and looked at one that I'd found, and then it was too big, so my boyfriend Scott ended up with a new bike, and then we couldn't go out for bike rides. And then I finally managed to get one right towards the end of lockdown that I really liked. But then somehow I got it home, and Scott was like, "Oh, can I have a go?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." He sat on it once and broke it.
No way.
He broke the seat.
How? What the hell? Was it like a vintage bike or something, or was it like?
Yeah, it's
okay.
I think it's late 80s or early 90s. And he sat on it once and broke it, even after I'd tested it. So I had ridden it around before I bought it because I was like, I don't want to buy it without testing it. So he broke it. He managed to break a whole part on it, and then I took it to a bike shop and hoped that I could just replace the part. And they were like, "Oh, we don't stock those anymore because it's an old bike, so we'll just replace this." And then they go, "Okay, we'll just check what size you need."
Yeah.
And then they go, "Oh, that's weird. It's not like a standard size. I don't know what size this is." So they couldn't fix it. So I've just been on like this journey of like, I feel I'm fated to not have a bike.
Yeah.
So, but I finally do have it now. I got it fixed. I had to order obscure parts online and fix it and stuff. So it was worth it going out on that first ride.
It's like a BMX, right? Like.
Yeah. No.
Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's no. It's like a light off-road bike, so not like a full mountain bike, somewhere in between a hybrid and a mountain bike.
That's perfect, man. That's pretty cool. Yeah, definitely. I remember there's like close to where I lived, there was like some hills that people used to bike on, and they were like mud hills, and people used to go up and down.
And, there's some of those like near me as well, but people take a lot of quad bikes and stuff out there. So sometimes when you go, like you're riding along the trail, and then there's just like this like carved out puddle that's just like just full of mud and water and stuff, so you've got to be quite careful because
they're dangerous quad bikes, right? Like so many people get injured on quad bikes. I know so many people like broke like the collarbone or whatever. Like I remember when I was a kid and I used to have a little BMX, and I remember we made like this like makeshift ramp, and I remember just going off it and just absolutely like knacking my arm so much. I didn't break anything, but I remember hurting it so bad. And I remember seeing my cousin go over a similar like little ramp, and he just went straight over his handlebars and like face planted the floor, and I was like, oh my goodness. It's like, and it's like obviously like we spoke about it before, right? Just the amount of injuries people get from skateboarding. Like so many of my friends have like had like devastating like compound fractures and stuff just from skateboarding accidents. So
my brother used to skate a lot, and he's broken stuff, and like I used to skate a little bit, but then like I think with my mum being a fracture nurse and also Ellis breaking his arm and like losing
Oh wow,
fingernails
yeah.
and stuff like that. He said the worst time was losing his fingernail. He hated that the most.
I
He
don't know
hated
if
that more than breaking his arm.
I feel like I might have told you about this before, but like I remember one time, because you just reminded me of this. And I'm sure we must have talked about it. Maybe I don't know, but I was like, you know how like you can sit on your skateboard. It's something kids do, and they'll like ride it. Like I can't remember what it's called, but you'll like
Yeah,
lay down and you'll like kind of slide on it.
yeah,
We were doing that, but we did it with two people because I had like quite a chunky, like one of those chunky kind of skateboards, and
uh-huh.
we were going down a hill, and obviously you hold on to the bottom of the skateboard. You're not like you don't like totally like have no hands, so you've got like your hands on a part of the skateboard. But then my friend also had his hands on it, so my hands slipped off, and the skateboard rolled over my hands, like rolled over my fingers, and I was like, we stopped, and I was like, ah, and I remember screaming. I looked at my fingernail, and it had gone up and into my hand, and it was like stuck like a hanging. It eventually like rotted and then fell off, but it was like
Yeah,
it was like there was this like congealed blood underneath, and it just like eventually fell, like the actual fingernail went totally black and then
yeah,
fell off.
yeah.
So
That's normal. Like I think a lot of people have injuries like that, and like I know a lot of like certain kind of sports are more susceptible to like what is it like black toe or something, black toenail or
good old
something.
black toe,
Like
yeah.
yeah,
Nah,
where
yeah,
like
yeah.
you get like blisters under your toe and toenail and then it comes off and stuff. So
Yeah, I've heard about stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's
I
pretty
think
common. Yeah.
like like if you run a lot but your shoes are too small or
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
stuff like that.
What about
Um
like this is it's a bit weird one, but like bunions. Like my mum like wears high
yeah.
heels all the time, and she's like,
Uh
I would like apologize for like our mum here, but like I know she's not watching, so but she gets like she's got like a bunion on her foot, and like
yeah.
I think that that's like crazy because I didn't know what that was, and that's off just her like wearing high heels which are too tight for
Yeah.
years. So I
I
think
think that that's quite common. Like I think in sort of like quite sort of it's a bit dated now to say like, but in the past, often women have had to. It's been enforced that you have to wear heels in the workplace and stuff like that. So I
that's
think that
so creepy.
a lot of
Like,
like
yeah,
old like slightly older women or a few generations up from us do often have feet problems because of having to wear heels in their workplace all the
yeah.
time, which is just totally
It's totally
bizarre
messed
and
up.
wrong and awful. Like,
I was talking to Rob actually on the fitness thing, and he was saying like that people have so many people have like kind of different kinds of injuries that they don't they don't know about because of stuff
mm,
like that. So he says when he's working with somebody, he says like if they've got like a certain issue, he'll ask them certain questions about like do you have a bag all day or do you wear
yeah,
heels? And he was saying he had one client right that he said he was teaching them how to squat and they couldn't plant their feet when they were squatting, and he was
yeah,
like he was wondering why that they didn't have any kind of dexterity in like the angles, and he
yeah.
was saying that it was because what he'd found out was because that they were a hairdresser and they would wear heels for 8 hours a day while they were cutting
Whoa,
people's hair, so that the way that they've always had the feet like that, it's just made it so
yeah.
that they've got no like lax or like dexterity in the angles, so
Oh my
they couldn't
god,
squat. Yeah, so he was saying that it's stuff like
that's
that.
that's so crazy and
Yeah.
so really terrible.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So he was saying like stuff like that that people don't think about. He's saying that people who like if they're wearing a bag every time, like if they've got like a tote bag or something and it's only on one shoulder, but it's like quite
yeah,
heavy, and then they go into work or walk into work every day with that tote bag, that can throw people's alignment out, like in the shoulder and stuff like that, and give them shoulder injuries.
definitely. I mean, like my shoulders are just like awful, and but one of mine is worse than the other, and I used to carry a bag like that was really heavy all the time on one shoulder and stuff, and I wouldn't be surprised if that has impacted like my sort of mobility and stuff, like that thing where you have to like join your hands behind your back and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I can do one side but not
same.
the other.
I do that
Like,
that side, and then the other side I just can't do. Because similar to you, I've got
yeah,
like I've got like a injury on my right shoulder, so that's obviously quite bad
yeah,
as well, and that prevents me from doing a lot
yeah.
of stuff when I'm like exercising and stuff. I have to be really cautious. So yeah,
Yeah,
it is what it is, but it's not the best. But I thought that was pretty fascinating. And
yeah.
if anyone is interested, that session will be on tomorrow. I don't know who is taking it yet. I don't know who it is yet, but it's going to be on tomorrow, I think, and it is 1 to 3, and then there'll be an exercise video at the end. There's probably going to be a new one, so stay tuned for that because Rob was talking about making a new one. So I don't know if that will be for this session or not, but so yeah, 1 to 3, you've got Rob's fitness session. So yeah,
Yeah.
look out for that, guys. And
Get in touch if you'd like to sign up for that and stuff, because I think you've got to enroll for that one.
Right, yeah, you've got to enroll for that one. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, then you can drop Rob an email at rob@mediasavvycic.co.uk, and then similarly, what courses we got? We've got a few things coming up, don't we? It's
I think we've got quite a few digital courses coming up soon. I think we might have like a level 1 and 2 coming up pretty soon, and we've got some more of our digital skills sessions. You know, like the new range of digital skills ones where we talk about lots of different topics in each session and stuff like that. So
decent.
Definitely get in touch if you're thinking about, you know, doing another course, because we do have quite a lot coming up in October time.
Yeah, so obviously, yeah, just to kind of echo what Ella said, if you're interested, just sign up for that. And you can message any of us if you're interested, you've got any questions about anything like that. But at the same time, if people want to subscribe to the newsletter, how would they kind of opt into that, Ella? Is there any kind of particular way? Or
I mean, just get in touch with any one of us, really. But there is a direct sign up link that I can send to people if people want to. But
cool.
it's pretty simple.
Yeah, yeah. So as Ella was saying, there's a direct sign up link she can give you, and then obviously if you are subscribed to our newsletter, it might just make life a little bit easier for you if you're kind of interested in the ongoing sessions that we have, because you'll always know every week exactly what's going on, because you know you'll have access to the newsletter. But I'm sure a lot of you might, if you're watching this, already have that newsletter, and also like. Sorry,
I was just going to say one more thing about the newsletter is that every week I try and feature a piece of learner work. So if you sign up for the newsletter, you might see your work in the newsletter.
There you go. So yeah, every week we've got different pieces of learner work. So if you sign up, then you might get to see your work, and then it's also cool for you as well if you're a learner, because if your work's getting displayed, you know, who knows, you know what that could lead to. You know, you could end up I don't know, someone else could see that who's who knows, really, the possibilities are endless. Just you know, so yeah, someone might really, if it's like, for example, if it was like Charlotte or something, someone might really see a digital drawing she did and be like, oh, I really like that, you know, I'd love to see something like that, and then could have a bit of work there. So
definitely,
who knows. So Gary was saying he's got a 21-inch frame bike, and it's way too big for him. So that's sounds interesting, man. And then Charlotte was saying she's got a skateboard with a killer wheel that she had when she was a kid, but she says she doesn't think she has any appropriate shoes to skate in. So
my bike, it took me ages to find a bike that would fit me. I think you know, your height isn't necessarily what you need to go by for finding the right bike frame. It's like your leg length. So like I have quite long legs for my height, but it means that I'm sort of like a weird bike size, if you know what I mean. So I think usually I have to have like a slightly taller frame, but like with the seat down and stuff. So definitely just, I would say, like, just keep trying different bikes and trying to find one that does fit you, because eventually you will get one. And I think you sort of realize pretty quickly whether you feel comfortable on a bike or not, if you know what I mean. Skateboarding wise, I have 2 skateboards. I have one that is from a brand called Toy Machine, which is pretty cool. I also have a one that is completely dead stock from the 70s that I've never ridden because it's too beautiful.
Nice. I love go on, Ella.
It came in its own like kind of carry case, like a plastic carry case, and it looks like a penny board, but I'm also a bit scared because it's very light and very plastic, and I'm a bit terrified of it. But
have you seen have you seen Lords of Dogtown before?
I have not seen it, but I know of it.
It's about like the Z Boys, or even there's a really good Z Boys documentary, which is worth watching. It's got all of that like lore from the Z Boys in the 70s, and like the kind of the advent of skateboarding, and you know, how they kind of were all surfers, and then their techniques that they learned when surfing, like how to contort their body, it applied to skateboarding, and that's really what
Yeah.
the first um, incarnation of skateboarding was just like a modified version. It was just basically surfing on land,
Well,
and
yeah.
they would
It's
have like,
so
yeah,
cool.
so and that's kind of what it was, and
Yeah.
obviously it developed. And then you had people like, you know, in towards the 80s, we got more into
Yeah.
vert skateboarding. People like Tony Hawk came along, and then you have people like um, street skating came along in the mid late 80s, where like got the people like Rodney Mullen who started to be able to do it
Yeah.
on the street, and then vert skateboarding wasn't cool anymore. Street skateboarding was what was cool in the 90s,
Yeah.
and so it's like it's really interesting the kind of way that it changed, and also just the culture as well, because
Totally.
it's always been a big part of kind of it's been kind of intertwined with music culture as well. Like there's a lot of bands, like if you look at
Definitely.
like, you know, bands that we like Fu Manchu and stuff. Like there's that album
Yeah.
which has got the dude skateboarding on it, and it's like
Yeah.
it's always that's been something that's been very absorbed in like skateboard culture. So
I
um,
think that, like, you know, if you talk to people who skate a lot, I think, you know, a lot of them would say that it's a lifestyle more than just a hobby or a sport,
no,
if you know what I
definitely,
mean.
yeah, definitely, yeah,
Um,
yeah. I definitely got that impression. Yeah.
um, I'm going to go slightly back to Charlotte's point about shoes to skate in.
Sure.
I think that you can skate in pretty much anything that's flat, if you know what I mean. If you've got a pair of Converse or something, even they're better than just, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, you know, you don't want to skate in anything that's like, you know, got a heel really. You can do it. I've seen people skating in cowboy boots and stuff like that, or skating in docks, but like I would definitely just try and find a pair of Converse. Or I also got a pair of like skate shoes from like TK Maxx. I think they're just like DC ones or something like that. But you can pick them up for like, you know, a tenner or whatever. So you don't have to spend loads of money on skate shoes. I think that a lot of people think that you've got to have like the best gear. You've got to have like specific skate vans or whatever. Like I would say, just make sure that you're comfortable in your shoes and that they're flat and that you can like there's enough grip on them to like actually grip the board and stuff. And if you are looking to do more like tricks and stuff, like if you're doing more street skate and stuff, then you maybe want something that's got like a bit of a reinforced toe. Because if you're wanting to do like ollies and stuff, you need to be able to have the board like sort of hit off your toes, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that's a
that
good
would be the
point.
only thing I would say.
Yeah, that sounds like good advice. Something interesting as well, like a little side note about skateboarding, is if you're interested in Jackass, or if you like any of that kind of stuff, or even Dirty Sanchez, which is like the UK version of it, I guess. Both of those people, well, actually, Pritchard and Dearden from Dirty Sanchez were signed to Def, which is like a skateboarding company. But then, if to take Jackass for example, skateboarding videos in the 90s always had like, because the street skateboarding, as you said, it was like a lifestyle, it was like a culture.
Yeah,
So these skateboarding videos that they would put out, it would be like it would be like what like say there was an hour and 20 long minute video of like a company, like they like they sponsor a few skateboarders, and they would go on tour together, and they would make like skate videos, and it would be like Bam Margera's reel or someone like that, and like what they would do is most of the footage would be skateboarding, but there'd also be this footage of them like kind of messing around and stuff. But it was like people starting to really love that kind of side of the skateboard videos.
yeah,
So what Jackass was, there was a magazine called Big Brother magazine, and it was like the stunt. There was like always these like stunts on the side, which was
yeah,
always like a part of skateboarding, because they were always like quite like goofy in nature, I think.
yeah,
And then that became, they basically took that part of the skateboarding scene and then just made it its own thing, and then
yeah.
that's how Jackass came. But it was from
I didn't
skateboard
know that.
culture, because yeah, Big Brother magazine, Jeff Treeman, who's like the director of Jackass,
Yeah,
he ran Big Brother magazine. He was like the editor of it, and
right, okay.
simultaneously, so in his magazine it featured Steve-O and it featured Johnny Knoxville as well. But they were the
Yeah,
first people who were not, well, Steve-O was a skateboarder, but they were the first people who were doing items which were outside of skateboarding.
yeah,
And then Bam Margera simultaneously was not part of that clique at that time. So this is, I'm
yeah,
deep into like the Jackass law, and like, but like, so basically, but Bam Margera was a signed skateboarder, and he was making his own videos. Like he was editing shooting and making his own videos called the CKY series, because
Uh-huh.
CKY was like a ensemble. It was a band, but it was also his like team. And
Right.
he was making these skateboard videos, but they were like had all the kind of Jackass-esque stunts in them as well. And then
Yeah.
basically Jackass, the very first series of Jackass was just the filmed was the basically him and Jeff Truman teamed together to form Jackass. And basically the first series of Jackass, a lot of that wasn't really original content. It was the Big Brother videos that they'd done together, and it was just clips from CKY, the CKY films that Bam had been shooting, and then
Oh,
CKY two, and then the second series of Jackass was all original stuff, and then that's when they actually like Bam stopped doing the CKY videos, and also Big Brother magazine folded, and they just kind of became Jackass. So
whoa.
so that's like the lore of Jackass, basically. But, yeah. But it's
That's
really
really cool.
interesting, actually.
That is really cool. Do you have a favorite skateboarder?
Favorite skateboard? I really like probably I like Rodney Mullen, who did like all of the crazy street skating and like all the
Yeah.
manuals and stuff like that. I think that that's really cool because yeah, I think that he really is like one of the godfathers of street skating. So I think that
Yeah.
like a big fan
It's
of
gotta
Rodney
be.
Mullen. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a cool guy,
Yeah,
definitely.
he's really cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, I really like Tony Hawk. I know that's really
No, he's a
predictable.
legend.
Um,
To-
I, I don't know if you saw that amazing video recently of him with oh, what you call it? Is it Sky Brown or something?
Oh, I
Um,
did. Yeah, sorry. Actually, I know what you're gonna say. Yeah.
where she goes on the mega ramp and stuff. It
I
was
know,
That's insane.
I know, I can't believe it. I was thinking, oh my god, this is gonna be terrifying. But yeah, yeah,
She nailed it as well.
she did nail it. Yeah,
So cool.
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I would. You couldn't pay me enough money to do that. So
No, yeah, I'm scared of
yeah.
heights, so
Oh man, that's the
it's
thing. It's like I've been up so many different heights. Like I've been at like a ton of different mountains and stuff, and it's like I always every time I get so scared. And like even now, if I'm like on top of a building, I'm just terrified. And it's like I can handle it, and I can. It's like as long as I don't get in my own head. There's been moments before where I've been up somewhere really high, and I've had a moment of panic, and it's so terrifying. And I can totally see how once you go beyond a certain point, you just that's it, you're just done. And like you know, you just freeze, and you just that's it.
mm,
You'd have to literally get someone to like help you down or something. And I've been up like really high places with people where they've got a bit like that, where they're like, I can't make that, I can't make that, and then they start to panic, and you're like, you just got to do it. You can't if you keep thinking right now,
yeah,
you're just gonna freeze. You need to just do it literally now, otherwise it's gonna
yeah.
but you can't like make them even worse, so you just gotta be calm and just tell them it's okay, you can do it, come on. But I mean
I think it
go on, Ella.
depends. Like I was just gonna say, like I think for me, I'm more scared of like falling than I actually am of
Oh yeah,
heights,
yeah,
if you know
yeah.
what I mean. Like
I know,
so, I don't mind being in like a really tall building or going on the London Eye or something is totally fine. But it's just the thought of like say if you're on a bridge or something and you look over and you're like,
it's horrible. I hate that feeling.
and then that's the bit that I don't like.
Yeah,
So I
but
don't
it's
know.
like it's also exciting though, right? Because it's like when you go on a roller coaster, it's the same thing. Like when
Yeah,
you're like dangling on a roller coaster, like
yeah,
you're on one of those ones which drops you right
but
down. You're looking
yeah,
out and you're like, and then
yeah.
it's
But I
like,
mean, I used to really like skiing. So
oh, okay,
like
wow, I've never been skiing.
so that yeah, I used to ski when I was a bit younger, but then I broke my thumb and then never did it
I was
again.
just about to
So
say, like, what's according to your mom, what does her opinion on skiing? Because I don't know if it would be skiing or skateboarding. I'm not sure which one's more dangerous. Because I think, like,
uh
I've heard.
she'll have heard them all, but she just kind of goes. "Hmm." A least favorite thing is when, say, if people have had the she says she hates it when people go, "Oh, I got angry and punched a wall."
Oh, that's so
Like
lame. Yeah,
she hates that because she's just like, well,
we're
that's
wasting everyone's time. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
yeah, we have to spend hours to fix you because of your own stupid stuff. You know what I
yeah,
mean? If it's like a
so,
recreational thing, like you skiing, it's not your fault really. You're not
yeah,
skiing to break something. But if you're punching a
yeah,
wall, then it's like you're asking for trouble, really, aren't you? So,
yeah. She
uh,
gets a lot of like, well, particularly when everybody had a craze for them, but like trampolines. I don't know if
yeah,
you remember when like everyone had a trampoline in their garden. Like she
yeah.
was just like, oh my god, everybody's got a trampoline injury.
I'm
So
I'm low key amazing on a trampoline. Like, cause I remember like,
really,
yeah, like I actually am. Like, well, my mate used to have one in his back garden, right? And it didn't have any protection on the sides, right? So I literally fell out of it like a couple of times, but it was like big enough, and literally like he like, cause he like he had like two brothers, right? And even like the youngest one could do backflips on the trampoline, and
Yeah.
they were all doing it like to me, and he literally kind of convinced me that it's just the least thing to be scared of ever. And so I just
Yeah.
started doing them, and through like his like him showing me how to do it, I could do them. And now, like even to this day, I can just do a backflip super easy on a trampoline, and even a
That's so
front flip
cool.
as well. I could do backflip, front flip, and a corkscrew, and then like I try to do like a 450, but even then, like that can be a bit disastrous because you generate so much force to swing your legs around twice that if you hit your head, you hit your head so hard. So it's like, but if it was like,
I'm genuinely impressed by that. But
it's pretty
my
easy.
my counter for that is not that long ago I went to Infinite Air
Yeah,
in Durham.
yeah,
I went with Scott and his younger brother and his friend for like his birthday, I think.
yeah.
And literally like before I went, my mum was like, "You going trampolining?" And I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "Well, be careful, you can die." And I was like, "If you land on your head, that's it." Or she'd be like, "You can become paralyzed. You'll never walk again." And so I was sat there
That's
in the like educational
terrifying.
video where
I'll
it like the
never do
safety video at the
anything. Yeah.
start where it like tells you and it's like, "You must be careful. Don't do this because fatal injuries can occur." And I'm just sat there like
It's
so
crazy.
so the whole time I was just doing a little bounce, just like
But yeah, like
it's fine.
a
So
backflip is the easiest, right? A backflip's easier than a front flip. You know why? Because there's much less distance for you to travel. Okay, so when you do a front flip, you have to you have to pull your head down and you have to bring your legs all the way up, and then your legs have got to come all the way back round. Whereas
all right, okay.
when you do a backflip, right, you just push them back, so your legs weigh more. The
Oh, I
so let's
see.
say
I
the
see.
power from your legs swings you back round. So it's literally just you going
I
like
get you.
so, right? So let's say that's where you are and your legs are there.
Yeah.
You've just got to kind of go here, and then your legs already generate so much force when they're swinging that way. So you just need your body naturally wants to go that way. So if you just
I get
jump
you.
back and then you just kind of let your legs go over and you have to land like that. Whereas if you do a front flip, you've got to literally go up like that and then back around again. So
I got
you
you.
need to actually work, like you could literally jump back and keep your legs up straight when you jump back, and then your body would naturally form a black flip. But if you do a front flip, you need to actually generate that
You
force.
need to like push more and
Yeah, because
think about your shape more and stuff like
yeah,
that.
because you need to force your body forward and bring your legs all the way back round. So it's actually harder to do like a front flip
Mm.
than a backflip. And my mate got to the point where, because there was a phase where parkour was really popular, and he's that like I had a friend, dude, and honestly, like it was crazy. He lives in Australia now, right? But he can still do it. I imagine he can still do it to this day. Um, like say like the smallest platform like that, like say this is where the ground level is, and then
Yeah.
that's the platform. He
Yeah.
could do like a backflip just off that. Like I remember one time we were in college and we were walking back, and I was like, "Can you still do that?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "No, I bet you can't." And he got up on like a tiny curb and just did a backflip off it, and I was
Off
just
a
like,
curb.
"Yeah, yeah." But
Oh
it
my
was like,
god.
right, it's not a curb, but like on someone's front garden when they've got like two bricks or something, like
Oh yeah.
leading in.
Like dropped from the drive or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
he did that, yeah, and just did a backflip, and it was like, and then my mate learned how to do them off the ground, right? And he could do backflips just off like the grass, and then he did one day, and he face planted the floor, and he didn't break his nose, but he pushed his nose over it, and he just never did it ever again after that.
You just wouldn't. I can see why.
But he landed them on the ground.
That's
But
yeah, no.
I've never quite been to that level.
No, I think like when your mom's a fracture nurse, literally, you say that you're gonna do anything, pretty much anything really, and she's like, "You going there? Be careful!" Like the amount of injuries that I've seen of people doing that, be careful.
Yeah,
And then so the whole time you just think, like your mom is just like echoing in your head, going, be
yeah,
careful. Like you could die, you could get paralyzed, like just all of this stuff. And you're like, so you're just there on your skateboard or your trampolining, and you just think, nah, it's fine, I'm okay.
yeah.
it makes it worse, because I think you have to be confident to be able to do those things, otherwise you just can't do them. Like it's the same with like rollerblading or ice skating or skateboarding, skiing,
I could do
snowboarding, anything like that.
Yeah, could do backflips into like swimming pools as well. And like that's the only other one. But yeah, I did that when I was like, before I even learned how to do them on a trampoline. I could do backflips into swimming pools. I was doing that when I was like 12, like because that's fairly easy. Because if you, the worst case scenario there is that you land on your head, but it's the water, so it doesn't even affect you really. As long as you're not jumping off like a diving board, then it might actually be a little bit different. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
I think that we should definitely, I think you need to go to a trampoline park or like go on a trampoline. I think you need to film yourself. I think we all need to see evidence of this.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking like, how come like I've never actually like filmed myself doing a backflip? Yeah, I mean, fine. No, I'd definitely do it. Like I could. But I'm so fat now, though. I'm like I'm such a big fat fatty now. Like I don't know if I'm as aerodynamic as I used to be. There'd be so much like big fat weight to carry about.
No, your legs will carry you, right?
We'll see.
I haven't seen you in like 6 months or whatever.
I'm so fat.
Apart from like this, apart from just this, so I don't really know. But I don't know. I've gotten fatter in lockdown too. So. I'm so skinny fat. I'm just like.
Oh, I'm the same as you. I hate it. It's like the worst.
I'm like just a skinny person with like a fat person's belly just on the front.
Oh, same. It's so sick. I hate my body. I look at myself, I feel sick. I hate it. But
I don't know. I'm just so. I think I just don't. I mean, I don't think I eat too bad. I just don't do any exercise really.
Yeah.
And nothing like sort of strength wise as well. So it's just doesn't really do anything.
I just eat too much chocolate. Like I just eat too much chocolate all the time, and like it's probably gonna. Like I really should stop eating chocolate all the time.
I think it's got to be beer for me. Like just like I didn't used to have like a beer every day.
Scott,
but like
get pints in, Scott. Go down the local, Scott. Get some pints in.
Oh my god! Don't even. Like we got a load of takeout beer from Brewdog recently because they had a really good one on tap, and like we were like, oh, this is really good. Like, are you planning on having any more? And they were like, no, this is probably it. And they were like, we've got a can machine though, if you want to take some away. And we were like, should we? And they were like, you don't work for the NHS, do you? And Scott was like, yeah. And they were like, it's 50% off.
Oh, man.
So it was like such a good deal that we had to do it. Like,
of course, yeah.
You know, it was something like, because it was quite strong. 50%. It was like $4.50 for like half or something. Because it's like, I think it was like 8% or something. Mm-hmm. So it's quite strong. So then
like 8% like
beer.
Like, oh man.
So but then a pint. If you think a pint would be like £9-ish, right?
Yeah.
And we ended up getting like 8 pints for less than 20 quid.
That's awesome.
So if you think, if you imagine that you bought them like sitting in, if you think if you got 10, it would be 90 quid. We were like, we'll have to do it.
It's crazy.
So that's it. I'm sorry, you're
but
right. You predicted it all. I feel like I'm being attacked.
Are you not like wasted off one glass though? I'd be just like an 8% beer. One glass, I'd be just done.
I don't know. I think I tend to just have halves really.
Yeah.
Like you're not meant to really have a pint, if you know what I mean. We just open one can and like share it between us or whatever, and just have it as a half, more like something to sip then, if you know what I mean.
Have you had quack before?
What?
Have you had quack? It's like a type of ale, and like I had it in Amsterdam, and they give you it in like this really weird glass. It's got like a wooden handle. It's like
I know what you're talking about. No, I've not.
It's so interesting. It's really weird. I'll see if I can like dig it out, but it's basically they give you it in this like wooden glass, and it's like called quack. And it's like 8% as well, I think.
Yeah.
I was drinking that Amsterdam with a friend, and it was really nice, but like it's so strong.
Yeah, like we really like sort of German style sort of strong beers, if you know what I mean. Like you don't, like I say, you don't really drink a lot of them, if you know what I mean. You just kind of sip them or have a half or a third or whatever. But they're really nice. So you kind of, you got to be careful because like sometimes if you do have like a couple or whatever, you like.
You'd be I'd just be so wasted, like yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think as well if you sort of drink them more regularly, you'd probably sort of get used to it and you kind of know what they're like then, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you just need to be sensible. You need to actually enjoy it and obviously not drink it to get drunk, which is the main thing.
Yeah, that's the point. I think like, you know what I mean? I feel like such a snob like talking about beer. I just at the same time, you know, I just what was that? The nose on that one. No, like
quite a nutty aroma here. It's like a definitely
poppy, piney, citrus, lemon. No, notes of coffee, toffee. Yeah, no. Nah, I don't know. I just want to drink it and enjoy it. I think if you're gonna have alcohol or whatever, then like there's no point in just drinking it just for the sake of getting smashed. You might as well enjoy the taste of it, if you know what I mean. And I'd rather spend more money on a stronger beer that I like the taste of than think I'm gonna have 10 pints of 3% like water.
Yeah.
Just, do you know what I mean? So I think you just gotta pace yourself and sort of think, am I actually enjoying this, or like why am I actually drinking this? Is it because I enjoy the taste, or is it because I want to get smashed?
Yeah. Have you seen the episode where Bourdain goes to Cologne? It's called Cologne, Germantown.
And I don't know, but is this the one where he talks about like the beer place? Because I saw his quote on this the other day, which is partly I think what is in my mind, where he's like, does he say that there's loads of people like making notes and that on the beer?
Yeah, he does actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
no,
a good episode.
He's right.
Yeah,
he's right. Like it's there to be enjoyed. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. Like have a nice beer. Like, you know, choose something that you like the taste of that you're gonna enjoy. But like, I think he's kind of right. Like if you sat there like, oh no, this one's too coffee for me, like, then just you don't have to write in your diary about it, like, or whatever. You don't have to, you know, or you can't be like I've got a friend before who's been like, oh no, they've sold out. Like they're not a small brewery anymore. They've sold at Carlsberg. I'm not drinking them anymore.
Like a wow, that's so crazy.
And I'm like, just drink it if you like. If it tastes the same,
yeah,
who cares?
I didn't realize that like elitism in like beer, like that there is in like music. You know, when people go to like a big label, they're like, oh, it's not like an indie label anymore. It's like,
yeah, I know it totally exists. So, but I don't care if you've made it, like great, you've earned it. And if nothing changes, if you know, if it doesn't make it more expensive and it doesn't change the taste, who cares? Same with music. I think like if the band sounds the same, and the records aren't more expensive, probably means that it's easier to see them live, or it means that they're going to be able to produce more records. Like
exactly,
it's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to think about it from that point, don't you? It's like you're listen to see how it changes them first before you make an opinion. Like see if it's ultimately it's going to give them better distribution opportunities. It's going to help them, you know, expand their horizons. You know, they're going to have more money to do more stuff to make stuff better. But the worry is always, you know, the interest from the big brewery or the big label. Like, how is that gonna affect the creativeness of you know, said thing? So it's
I think
that's what it is. I mean,
as long as the thing itself doesn't change, and they're still true to themselves, then it doesn't matter.
I totally agree.
I don't really care who pays their bills.
Exactly. So. Just to catch up with the chat there, Gary was just saying going deep with the jackass law, and Charlotte was saying that I'm scared of heights, but on the edge of building, she said I wouldn't say I'm scared of heights, I'm guessing, but on the edge of buildings, I get particularly over bridges, I get really nervous. So kind of what you're talking about, I think.
Yeah, I think it's that same thing. I think it's that worry of like, are you going to fall, rather than actually being high up.
Yeah, it's horrible. And then Gary was saying Rodney Mullen, probably my favourite to invent some of the most iconic tricks in the skateboarding era. And
I kind of want to interrupt as well. I've thought of my other favourite because I feel like I chose like obvious one, but if you've ever heard of like Richie Jackson is my favorite. He's really cool.
Okay. I don't know if I've actually heard of Richie Jackson, but
he I found him because somebody was like, he looks like you.
okay.
So he's like long haired, wears flares and stuff, and
Cool.
I think he's on. I'm pretty sure he's on Death Skateboards as well.
Right.
But
Okay. Cool.
He did a really cool like creative skate video. It's worth a watch.
Awesome. Well, I'll definitely check that one out as well. Yeah, cool. And then let's see. Yeah, Charlotte said as well. I've landed on my head quite a few times when I used to go horse riding. I've been fine, but just with a bit of whiplash. That is actually pretty crazy, right? As well, yeah.
That is scary.
Yeah, definitely. That's obviously how Superman broke his neck, right? What Christopher Reeves was a horse riding accident, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So let's have a little look at some good news articles we've got here, Ella.
Sure.
So I'll just get some up. Let's have a look. Okay, so first one here is that UK companies give back £215 million of furlough payments. It's quite an interesting one. And obviously it's just saying here that a remarkable showing of civic unity, one that proves even publicly traded, infinite growth orientated firms understand moral responsibility. UK companies have returned or denied claims to 215 million, 275 million in funding, which was either to give them an error or went unused as part of Britain's coronavirus stimulus plan. So according to data from the UK's version of the IRS, the HMRC, these return funds came from 80,000 separate employers, including some very large firms. So yeah, that's quite interesting, and it's saying that HMRC welcomes these employers who have voluntarily returned their grants to HMRC because they no longer need the grant or have realised they've made errors and followed our guidance on putting things right at the time. So it's pretty interesting.
That's very good.
Yeah, so actually, also saying that one of the firms that did it was the Games Workshop. So yeah, they brought some money back there, and department stores like John Lewis and Sainsbury's have also done some stuff to bring it back. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I had heard about that, but I wasn't too familiar with it, so it's definitely quite interesting. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is really good.
And okay, let's see what we've got next here. We've got okay, this is the cool one. It's obviously I think Iceland is like one of the most like naturally beautiful places ever. Not the shop obviously, because it's like just in Iceland the shop just like beautiful frozen food, beautiful delicious processed food.
Fridges and
yeah,
artificial lighting and
exactly.
Bargain prices
and really drab branding as well. They're just like
just put a gradient on it.
Yeah,
done.
There you
That's
go.
it.
So yeah, the videos include scenes of canyons, green volcano, and fjord. Is that how you say that? Fjord.
Fjord. Yeah.
Fjord.
Fjord.
That's it. Yeah. Accompanied by audio narration that describes the geological wonder. So it was just saying that this is like Iceland's. It's just a breathtaking look at some of the country's most awe-inspiring shots, and it's to soothe your lockdown stress is what the title is. So let's have a little play of this here. We'll play maybe like the first 30 seconds to a minute just to kind of see what they're talking about. But I mean, yeah, you see people get some drone footage. I'm sorry if that was really loud there, guys. Get some drone footage of Iceland and it just looks unreal.
Casting a striking figure against a barren black.
You can't hear that, can you, Ella?
Nope.
Oh man, it's like the most Icelandic voice ever. I wish you could hear the guy who's narrating it. Oh, really? Yeah, because it's like he's got like a Icelandic accent, which is such a unique accent.
Can you do an impression?
Moss-covered Mælifell is
moss-covered Mælifell. That's it. It just sounded terrible. It sounded like just awful, really. Just like generic. stereotypical like foreign accent that isn't it? But it was fun.
Another comment
No, it was better than I expected it to be honest.
Thanks.
in the
I don't know whether you want to think of that as a good thing or not.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, it's like, you know, when you see like all those people do, oh, like do an Irish accent, oh, do a Scouse accent, it's like do an Icelandic accent. It's like what? It's like not like the most common accent, is it?
No, that's fair.
revealed when a glacier retreated at the end of the last ice age over
I could listen to his voice like all day.
10,000 years ago. Its iconic cone shape and otherworldly green coloring make it a favorite of hikers and photographers alike. Dmælifell sits 800 meters above sea level and hasn't erupted in over 10,000 years, meaning you can get close enough to admire its magnificent beauty.
Nice, yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's only 40 seconds long, so I don't know how it can be like that, like that relaxing, but it's still decent. So, okay, let's see what's next. So let's see, we've got customer raises huge 12K tip to give his favorite 89-year-old pizza delivery man. Wow. So this is
89-year-old
pizza man. That's quite special. Wow. I mean, he's definitely not a pizza boy. He's a pizza man.
Pizza man. That's like a superhero. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like is ascended.
Definitely. Yeah. So Carlos Valdez and his wife love pineapple on the pizza. So I mean, first mistake there already.
I think maybe we should just stop there.
Oh my goodness. So it's the couple standing order from Papa John's in Roy, Utah. But along with their topping of choice, Carlos and his wife always requested that the pies be brought to them by the pizza pie. Pizza pie. That's Fredophobia. It's not. You shouldn't say that.
I didn't think we would be getting all these accents today. This is amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so Charlotte was saying, so Carrie was saying that he loves the frozen veg lane in Iceland. And then Charlotte was saying that she's terrible to do accents when someone has to be doing an American accent. They said it sounded like an Irish accent. So at least you give it a shot though. So yeah, at 89 years old, Newey is a lot older than your average pizza delivery dude. That's actually what's wrote in the article. It's pretty interesting. Dude, I wonder who wrote this. Yeah, the Valdezes, I don't know how to say it.
Where are they from?
No, that's their surname.
No, I know, but where are they from? Because that'll depend on how you pronounce it, won't it?
They're from Roy, Utah.
But I believe it's
a Mexican couple. And they were saying that so maybe you could help me with that. I know you've got a bit of Spanish, Alice, so you might be able to.
Well, if it was Spanish, it would be Valdez, like a Z sound instead of a Z. But I think Mexican Spanish is with the Z sound, so I think it would be Valdez.
They've messed this up. They've messed their name up because they wrote it as Valdezes once, and then the next line it says Valez. So it's like,
yeah.
So they've messed it up, man. But it says anyway. It says that they fell in love with the scene. Fire this writer. He's wrote dude, so unprofessional, and they've wrote Valez and Valdez. Can't even get the names right. Fire this writer.
We should have stopped at the pineapple on the pizza.
I know. Anyway, let's get through this. So he was saying that they were so taken by his charming manner, they started filming his deliveries and posting them to their TikTok feed, which is a bit weird. And they were saying soon enough he became something of a senior sensation with their 53,000 followers. And they were saying people loved his charisma, and they were concerned that he was spending so many hours on the job in his old age. And then they said that the family, with that in mind, decided to reach out to the fans and did a little fundraiser. And then collectively, their TikTok community came together and were able to raise 12,000 for this amazing person. Valdez told KLS, that must be some kind of outlet. And then they were saying that this past Tuesday, Newey got a surprise delivery at his own home. Valdez showed up at the door with a t-shirt that read, "Hello, are you looking for some pizza?" in one hand. I'm guessing that's the guy's catchphrase, I think it is. And then they were saying, and a check for 12,000 in the other. and the former ski champion, who was working as many as 30 hours a week to supplement his social security, was overcome with emotion by the generosity of so many strangers. How could I ever say thank you? And I don't know what to say. And that's so touching. And let's have a little watch of that then.
Dinner time and maybe pizza's on the menu. There's a delivery driver in Roy and Riverdale getting a lot of attention tonight.
He delivers pizzas in the evenings, but earlier this morning he received a delivery he never expected. News specialist Alex.
There are as many places to
I'm just going to skip through this a little bit, guys, just so we can get to when he gets there.
The Valdezes have gotten to know Derlin Newey from his delivery. So 3,000 followers, man was delivering pizzas.
Somebody at that age should not be working that much.
So the Valdezes maybe donate some money to help. They got a lot
for this amazing person.
This morning, the Valdezes went to Newey's house.
The Valdezes, that's the name, Alan.
Well,
Delivery of their own.
Good morning, Dylan. How you doing?
Newey had no idea.
We collectively collected a gift for you, and I am here to deliver that to you on behalf of the TikTok community.
Newey didn't even know what TikTok was.
You communicate with each other?
Yes.
Through the telephone?
But he knew what $12,000 was and couldn't believe it.
How do I ever say thank you? I don't know what to say.
Turns out he lives alone and started delivering pizzas because he couldn't afford his bills on Social Security alone.
And I work.
you would, wouldn't you? I did watch it with the sound off.
Dude, it annoys me so much though. That's so nice, and it's so nice to see him get that. But it's just such the fact that an 89-year-old man is having to work 30 hours a week because he can't afford his bills. That's a sign of a broken system to me. Like there should be that should never have to happen in the first place. And the fact that someone like that has to, and then people give, which is a great thing that to give, but it's like this person should be cared for in a society. This should never ever happen where someone like that should have to work 30 hours a week. It's so wrong. And then also I hate the fact that the way that fair enough to these guys that did this fundraiser, and it is a great thing and it's a positive thing, and I'm so glad that this guy is actually getting the recognition he deserves, because he's obviously he's worked so hard and he definitely deserves it. But I hate the fact that they're filming it and then they're
I know.
it just makes it feel so insincere, and they've got the camera in his face now, and I was thinking like, I don't know, I mean, the definitely like gaining like followers and attention off that. I wouldn't want to do. Like I just think like it just made me feel uneasy that they're walking in with a camera and stuff, and like I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I really struggle on things like this, because part of us thinks like, I'm glad that they've done a nice thing in general, and I get why you would want to film that kind of moment, sort of personally. Say if you were going to do something nice for a friend or a family member and you just want to genuinely capture that moment, as a a reminder or whatever, then yeah. But I think it's the intention behind it. Is it to actually do that nice thing, or is it to benefit yourself, if you know what I mean?
The thing that gets me is that they initially were filming like their interactions with him, that it said that they were like before then, and then the people were like, well, this guy's like 89, and he's like, because they thought it was wholesome obviously, and I get that aspect, but it's like, I don't know, I just think it's a bit weird for me. But still it's nice that he's got that, and he deserves it. But like ultimately the main point for me is the fact that this should never ever happen. You should never have to still be working at 89 because you can't afford it, your bills. Like it just should never happen,
No.
I don't think that's fair. So but it's in America, so it's not the UK. So but then there we go. So Gary was saying that my nan is 72 and still works 2 jobs, was working free until she knocked her knee. So your nan is an absolute trooper. And it depends as well. So it's like if someone is in the 80s and they want to work, like that's their choice, that they want to do that, it's like fulfilling to them to work, then that's absolutely fine. They should have the right to. But at the same time, it's like if they're if they're at an age where they feel they want to retire and they're in the 70s, then of course they should be able to. So yeah, but while that's amazing that your nan was working 3 jobs, that's pretty impressive, Gary. And 2 is still is impressive enough, And yeah, so Gary was saying the real question is how many pizzas do they order? So they probably order a lot, I reckon. It seems like.
True.
Okie dokie, cool. So, guys, if you would do me a kindness, it's really funny. Have you heard anyone say that before? Do me a kindness.
I'm not sure.
Instead of do me a favor, they said do me a kindness. I don't know where I've heard that from. Actually, it's quite funny. But if you do me a favor, guys, and let's have a look. Okay, so you were saying she can't stop working her whole life, and the tire money is not enough for her to keep a house. That is absolutely heartbreaking, Gary. I'm so sorry to hear that, bud, and I really think that should never ever, that should never happen. In a fully functioning, society, I don't think that we should have people like that who've worked their whole life and then they can't afford to retire when they're pushing the 70s and having to work 2 jobs. So that's really sad to hear, but
Yeah.
I hope she's okay, and I hope that she's managing all right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you did me kindness, thanks, Gary. Yeah, I posted the survey in there, so if you could do that, do me that kindness, and then we'll be good, guys. But yeah, hope things go okay for you now, Gary, mate. And yes, we are coming towards the end. Is there anything that you'd like to add at all, Ella? No. I think that's about it. Yeah. So thank you everyone for tuning in today, guys, and it was good. We managed to cover some good stuff, and it was good interacting with you guys. So I hope that everyone enjoys the rest of the afternoon and has a good evening. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for if you've got any quick questions you want to ask me, Ella, just before we go, just get them in now. And then if not, me and Ella will be taking our leave. And yeah, thank you very much for joining us today. It is much appreciated. And okie dokie, cool. Right, well, we're going to go, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by today. And
yeah, thanks for joining us.
See you later, guys.
Bye.